Greetings, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, All That Is. Welcome to new friends, and much gratitude to my subscribers for staying with me on this journey. I would like to give you a brief update before we get into today's show. I have just been through a week-long journey with the Divine Feminine Mother energies. As many of you might be aware, I introduced a 7-day, a 7-day meditation series through my website and here on this channel. This last week turned out to be an initiation with these Divine Feminine Ascended Masters that came through each day to work with me on these assigned days. And for those that signed up for the meditation, these beings were Isis, Kuan Yin, Hathor of Egypt, Anna, the grandmother of Yeshua or Jesus, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Green Tara, and finally Mary Magdalene. It was a very powerful week of alignments, realizations, and discoveries for me and for those that attended. I will be reintroducing these teachings as a somatic initiation, perhaps a meditation package on my website shortly. So stay tuned for that. I would love for each and every one of you to experience those blessings, those very powerful beings that came through in their unique emanations, so that you may directly receive their wisdom and their teachings. So I would encourage you to stay tuned and sign up when I do publish those offerings. So for today, I just wanted to give you a brief update of what took place. So this morning, I was woken up at 2:30 a.m., becoming aware of my guides wanting me to share a very important message. And so after I had sufficiently roused myself from sleep, I was told that I would be doing a live transmission today, with this being known as VAL or VAL-NEK. I was actually quite surprised. And so after a debate with my guides as to the significance of this meeting, I agreed to do this live transmission. But before I introduce you to my guest, I would like to preface this interaction by saying a few words. Now, this being is not in the physical, so it will be a live transmission from an energy being. I became aware of this being perhaps 3 to 4 years ago, perhaps even prior to that, when he was interacting with the internet influencers known as Megan Rose and Elena Danan. I have since been out of the loop of what they have been discussing online as they interact with this being, so I'm not up to date on what's really going on with this being. And so I was peripherally aware of what this being was doing galactically, shall we say. I watched some of those interviews during that time. And it was a time when I myself was aware of the Draco presence within our reality. It was quite palpable at that time. And as many of you here know about my story and what I have shared on this channel about the history of the Draco and my history of the Draco and my work with the light to essentially guide them off this earth plane through my own grid work and my own missions. And so I would like to say that this is my first interaction with this being known as VAL-NEK or Valtor. I think he likes to be called VAL-NEK. And so I would like to stress that this is an interaction with an interdimensional being. And so I would like to also bring attention to whatever has taken place prior to this interaction in his role with others is not a reflection of what is to take place in this here and now moment. I see myself as a bridge between two worlds, between the physical, human form and beings of light, and interacting with these divine interdimensional beings. As I embody my 12th dimensional aspect, I receive guidance directly from this place of oneness with my soul aspect and directly from the Creator. My work will still continue with the collective of three who I have written a book with. It will still continue with the Ascended Masters, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. Yeshua, who have also written a book with, and Mary Magdalene, who is working with me very closely within that Sophia aspect, and the other beings that came through very recently. So I will continue to do all of this work, interacting with them as we go through grid work missions as well that has been planned for later this month and next month. This episode, I see it as an expansion of my own consciousness, and so it is a new exploration that I am sharing with you live as I step into this arena with you by my side. And so, as it is going to be a live interaction, I ask you to be respectful and to be kind with your questions in the chat. It is going to be a question and answer session as well after an initial transmission from this being. So I welcome you to ask any questions that are close to your heart or that are in relation to what is discussed here. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Valnek as this being comes into my reality. Greetings. I am Valnek, and I am so pleased to be here with you today. This being, Raquel, I know as well peripherally through beings that I work with from beyond your reality. And so it is like we know each other from a distance, but we have not been formally introduced. And so we meet each other in this very public forum on her channel. And so I welcome you as well to this discussion as you become aware of my background as well through Raquel and how she introduces me through her channel. And so I would like to first give you some background about who I am and what it is I am doing here at this time. I was recruited by the beings that you may know as the Arcturians. They are, in a way, my soul family, but I also have soul family within your Palladian star nation. But right now, my new incarnation, shall we say, is within the Arcturian star nation. And so my guidance is received from this star nation for that particular incarnation that I am living within in my perceived light body at this time. And so when they were recruiting, shall we say, for missions upon your earth plane, I was received within the council that had gathered together on our star system, and I volunteered to take up this mission to come to your earth plane and assist with your ascension process in whatever way possible. I have a background, in the best way to explain it to you would be a military background. But it is different from what you consider as a military, as we have weapons, but we do not kill and shoot each other like you do on your earth plane. We instead prefer to work with the light and determine the negative aspects, shall we say, of our enemy before we take that ultimate decision of terminating, shall we say, their light force. There are many rules and regulations that determine these actions. And so we are very conscious of each and every step that we take within the arena, shall we say, of perhaps warfare. And so I have been within your earth plane reality for many, many years now. Some of you might even know me from many years ago when your president, Nixon, perhaps, was in place. I made appearances, shall we say, within your United States government, within those presidencies, over many presidencies, but I did not reveal myself. I was able to weave in and out of your reality, shall we say, in order to understand the workings of your earth plane at those very high levels of administration. And since your United States was perhaps the nation that was most powerful among all nations of your earth plane, this was the place that I wished to learn the most out of. And so let us fast forward to your year 2020, where the Creator decreed that the Draco was to be removed completely from your earth plane. This was originally the understanding. However, as we arrived upon your earth plane as a large force to remove them from your earth plane, there was a lot of resistance in those years leading up to 2020. Even though we were able to remove a large number of these beings from your earth plane, the major players, shall we say, within those high-ranking individuals were hard to remove because they resisted and they did not want to take orders from any being from other planes of existence. And so we formed an alliance with many nations, and we received a decree from the Creator in order to present it to these beings. And so that decree was issued in 2020. And with that decree, these beings, in a way, had no reason to continue living upon your earth plane. And so we started our mission in this way, large missions and smaller missions, to gather up these clusters of beings that were invading your plane of existence. And so we started to clear the forces from all of these areas that were highly active within these networks, shall we say, of the Draco and all of their lower ranks within their organization. And so as we continued to work, it was like peeling away an onion. There were many, many layers to their administration. And it was a very difficult task for us to take care of all of these beings in a systematic way because of their resistance and because of their, shall we say, low vibrational energy. They were very aggressive, they were angry, they were hurt, and they did not want to leave what they thought belonged to them and what was thousands of their years of accomplishment and achievement. They, in a way, felt that the earth and all of its people belonged to them. And so they were reluctant to give up ownership of all of the things that they had achieved. And so it was a very difficult task for us, but we did it. A bit by bit, we chipped away at their resistance. And so since 2022, your present moment, they have all but been removed from your earth plane. There are still a few that hide within the inner earth, but their days are numbered, and so we continue with our mission. The reason why I am here is to make people aware of what is taking place. I know that Raquel and many other channels speak about this subject matter, but a lot of the everyday people don't necessarily know or understand what is truly taking place. And so it is my hope to spread this information in a way that is relatable for people to understand just what is taking place. From a soul level, you are experiencing an evolution, an ascension within your soul. And this takes place on many levels, not only on your plane of existence, but on every plane of existence where there is life, where there is probability of any sort of evolution that takes place from the smallest organism to the largest. And so these are set in motion, if you will, by the Creator. And there is a method within which evolution takes place. And what took place with the Draco and their followers was a deviation from that evolutionary process. They rebelled against the Creator and the guidelines that were set about, within which an evolutionary process would take place. And within that deviation, they set out and captured many planes of existence, the earth plane being one of them. And so many thousands of years later, they are still on that devolution path, if you will, with no signs of turning back and improving upon their soul's mission. And so an intervention, if you will, needed to take place. And this is why beings from planets like the Arcturian planet or the Palladian planes of existence came forward to form an alliance and to bring forth this plan to rein in the Draco and their followers, to help reverse their devolution so that they may be saved and that their souls might continue on their evolutionary path. Some of them, unfortunately, will have to return to what is known as perhaps space dust, as they will not be continuing on their soul's journey. But for the most part, we have been able to retrieve most of these beings and bring them into a holding area where they are being healed, energetically healed, and counseled, and given all of the assistance that they would need in order to make a choice whether they might proceed on their soul's journey or return to their plane of existence and continue from that point from whence they had departed, if you will, from their path away from the Creator and away from their soul's true journey. And so this in itself is a remarkable mission that is taking place. It is not happening on your earth plane. It is happening in a location away from your earth plane. And it is overseen by many other higher dimensional beings. And so as we remove these beings from your earth plane, they are escorted to these higher realms, this holding place, if you will, where they are going through processing of their individual souls. And so this is my wish, for you to become aware of all of these layers of events that are taking place upon your earth plane at this time. And it is my wish for you to tune into your own heart and try to find out and discern for yourself what it is your own soul's path is, your true soul's path. There are many that have been victims of this Draco invasion, and so your soul has been traumatized on many levels. And so you may not recognize what your true soul's mission was in its original template because of all the trauma that has been rained on you for many lifetimes of your captivity upon the earth plane. And so for you, it would potentially be a long healing journey. But that is not to say that you are not able to walk this initiatic path or this ascension path with the many. Even recognizing yourself as being one of those that were captured, if you will, upon this earth plane. Recognizing yourself as a victim and wanting to heal from that is a way forward. So take that first step, no matter what it is, whether you embark on a journey of meditation, whether you embark on a journey of yoga, whether you embark on a mission of correcting any and all bad habits, if you will, within your life. That is a way forward. And so I encourage you to raise your vibration in whatever way that looks like to you. Listening to high vibrational music, going for a walk in the park, loving your family, loving your partner, loving your children, loving your friends, loving your community. All of these things raise your vibration and bring you into that reality of your heart center, which is your true spark of your connection to the Creator. And so, as you explore all of these potentials within your own life, within your own heart, research and understand the enormity of what is taking place within your own heart, within your own soul. You are no longer just a living being upon the earth plane. You are a multidimensional being. And so much like Raquel and I are interacting at this present moment, as you raise your vibration, you will be able to connect with other interdimensional beings as well and gain knowledge from the repository of the Akashic records, as if you would walk into your library and gain access to an enormous amount of wealth and information and wisdom from many that have walked before you. And so I encourage you to unravel, if you will, yourself from all of these chains that have bound you to the earth by those that have imprisoned you on so many levels. Do not align with those actions anymore. Do not align with their constructs, with the reality that they have built that are not in alignment with your soul. Step away from it. This is your power. As you are beings of sovereign being, you are sovereign beings, and you stand within your own power. And so take that power back and release yourself from those clutches and live from your heart, co-creating with the Creator, doing things that you love. It might be difficult in the beginning, but as you move forward, that expanded energy from your heart will unfurl as you align yourself with the Creator, and you will do great things. There is much cleanup to take place on your earth plane at this time. So perhaps if that interests you from a soul level, take up that mantle and explore where it is that you might be of assistance. This being here today, Raquel, has already done that in her life. She is offering many avenues for assistance. She has written 2 books. She offers healing services and many other things upon her website. It is for me to still explore her potential, but this is my preliminary understanding of what it is that she does, and it is quite impressive. So I would encourage you to take up that mantle, explore what it is that you would like to do with your own life in alignment with the Creator that is of service to others. This is a glorious time for you to be alive. You are on the precipice of something magnificent on a soul level. And this is why many from the outer worlds, if you will, from the multidimensional aspect, wish to be involved with your progress at this time. Because you, as a soul, as a collective, are going through something that is only dreamed of within our reality. And as we look in upon what is taking place in your reality, we can only wonder about each of your process and each of your path as you move forward on this ascension. Each of you has a glorious path forward. And so my advice to you is, why not make it that much more powerful? So that when you look back on this time, you can say, I did this. So this is my gift to you. Pick up a mantle and run with it. You will be supported. Your higher self, your soul aspects are standing in unison with you. They are waiting for you to acknowledge that this is the path that you want to take and this is the way that you want to move forward. And so once you take that step forward, they will embrace you with open arms and receive you for your actions and for the way forward. It has been a blessing to speak to you. I am happy to take any questions now, if you have any, in gratitude and in honor. Thank you. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions for VAL, please put it in the chat. If you're listening to the replay, please put a question in the comments just below the description, and I will do my best to get you those answers. I'll just give it a few more minutes to see if there are any questions in the chat, and we will then end this live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this connection. It was a big surprise for me as well, so I'll have to listen back to the transmission, but I think it was a very deep and moving transmission, I would say, and very encouraging for the time that we are in at this time upon the Earth plane, so I'm quite pleased. Okay, I think we should end this transmission. Thank you once again, Balnik, for being here with us. I am honored to be able to have this conversation with you and to introduce you to my viewers.